Good morning or good afternoon, whenever you are viewing this. This is June Edwards, and I'm with Senior Topics, and this is for the week of July 19th already. Wow, 2021's already half over. That's amazing, isn't it? Well, let's start with our calendar events, shall we? Okay, so we're starting with, let's go back to the 18th. It's National Ice Cream Day, and I'll have more to say about that in a few minutes. It is also the International Day for Nelson Mandela, who is a civil rights hero of South Africa. The 19th is Stick Out Your Tongue Day. I don't know why they gave that a day. Who knows? And Hug Your Kid Day. Well, that one is very, very obvious. July 20th is Moon Day. That was the first landing on the moon by Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Scott Carpenter. I don't think we'll ever forget those names. In 1969, during the height of the Vietnam War. The 20th is also International Chess Day and Space Exploration Day. July 21st, National Junk Food Day. Ernest Hemingway was born on the 21st in 1899, and it is Hot Dog Day. These are all summer foods, that's for sure. The 22nd is when the Pied Piper of Hamelin Day is declared. Remember the famous story of the man who played the flute and lured the children away out of the town when the townspeople were too cheap to pay him for getting rid of the rats. July 23rd, Ice Cream Cone Day in 1904, and another one, which is why I dressed up, Gorgeous Grandma Day. We'll have more to say about that one too. And then the 24th, Saturday, is Pioneer Day. Amelia Earhart was born on this day in 1898. She's a famous aviation pioneer. And the National Day of the Cowboy. And we love our rodeos. I'm so glad country fairs are starting to come back. County fairs, at least the Orange County one is. It's going on right now, as a matter of fact. Hope you have a chance to go down, grab an ice cream cone and a hot dog, look at some cowboys doing their tricks, and look at all the wonderful displays. Well, we were talking about mind-blowing scientific discoveries, and I have some more for you for this week. They have discovered a new Stonehenge with huge, undescribably huge stones in Brazil in a remote corner of the jungle. Not too much is known about this ancient civilization yet. Another thing discovered, and this came out in 2017, they have made actually an artificial womb that can nurture human preemies, human babies born prematurely. Also, they have discovered an eighth continent hidden under the Southwest Pacific Ocean. They have invented a tool to repair DNA in embryos to eliminate certain disease-causing mutations. I don't know if it's animal embryos or human ones. I don't know that part yet. And they have discovered a living drug that can kill cancer using the patient's own blood. That one is going to be a game changer for many, many different kinds of cancer. Now, there were more scientific discoveries going on during the lockdowns in 2020 and 2021. Archaeologists have discovered over 200 ancient mammoth skeletons in a pit beneath the construction site of an airport north of Mexico City. was the perfect temperature to preserve these remains. An adult cave bear carcass was found perfectly preserved on a remote island in Siberia with its nose, teeth, and internal organs intact. It's believed to be at least 35,000 years old. And we think we're getting up there. No, no way. Not compared to some things. Okay, another one is about Stonehenge, which, as you know, is located in England. It's estimated to be about 5,000 years old, and it consists of two distinct types of stone slabs weighing many, many tons, and they're set in half circles. Well, researchers have now tracked one type of rock, the smaller blue stones, to a site in Wales, 150 miles away. So now the question is, how did they get the blue stones from so far away? How did they drag them over there? They are suggesting that the 30-foot sandstone boulders, the other kind of rock called sarsens, comes from a nearby woodland area. But even then, how can you move such large pieces? They had to drag the 50,000-pound sarsens about 13 miles, which, as one archaeologist, David Nash, said, is insane, really, if you think about it. Well, moving to the future, SpaceX has launched the world's first crew on a commercial spaceflight, and they rocketed two NASA astronauts to orbit aboard a Crew Dragon spaceship. This happened last summer, and it was to prove SpaceX's human spaceflight abilities. And now Jeff Bezos had a contest, and the winning bid was several millions of dollars. And then the anonymous donor decided to let an 18-year-old young man take his place and go up into outer space on one of the SpaceX rockets with Jeff Bezos. And this was a 10-year effort to restore the United States presence in outer space and not have to piggyback onto a Russian spacecraft. Well, Elon Musk actually is the one who founded SpaceX, and now they recently launched 4 astronauts, and it was the first official transport using 4 NASA astronauts. So there's a partnership going on there between commercial and what we have, which is the other kinds here going on. Let's see. They also, SpaceX grew its Starlink satellite constellation and is testing the resulting internet connection across the United States. And it's advancing Elon Musk's plan to blanket Earth in high-speed, satellite-controlled internet. Well, the Chinese are also launching many, many ships, and the space race is definitely continuing. Right now, it appears to be between the United States and China. And the Space Force, which is our military branch, is also working on some of these new inventions, a lot of them top secret, but it looks like the war is being carried into outer space. The problem with the high-speed internet plan is that with all these satellites up there, it's blanketing what observatories can see. It's causing obstructions. They can't see some of the constellations and other things that they're trying to view from their telescopes. There is a European Space Agency which has just recently beamed back the closest images ever seen of the sun. and it's showing the upper atmosphere of the sun. And it's called the Solar Orbiter. It launched this past February 9th and traveled millions of miles to make its first close approach to the sun just a month ago in June. And it's also taken pictures of solar flares burning across the sun's surface. The smaller ones are called campfires, even though they are hundreds and thousands of miles long. They're also investigating material from a meteor found on Australia. And inside it, they found what they think is the most ancient stardust solid material ever discovered on Earth. Well, the search for alien intelligence took a blow. Astronomers have finally traced a fast radio burst back to a dead star, which at one time they thought was the home of an alien civilization. They first unearthed these mysterious signals in 2007, but now they find out that explosions of the radio signals are happening at regular intervals on this star, and it is not aliens blipping radio signals to our galaxy. The moon this last year has revealed new reserves of water. They're compounds that researchers call water, but the oxygen and hydrogen molecules are actually forming a stronger chemical bond than those in Earth's good old H2O. And they're hoping that they can break down the hydroxyl, which is in there, and produce more oxygen for breathing and use the hydrogen to make more rocket fuel. They want to use the moon as a stop-off point for longer trips, like the one they're planning to Mars in just a few more years. Whoever's going to be on that, most conceivably, is already alive today. Well, let's switch it over and look at something that's been around a long time, but was an absolute sensational invention all the way back thousands of years ago, and that is the invention of ice cream. We know the origins go back at least to the 200s BC, but we don't really have a specific inventor because ice cream was discovered simultaneously from many places around the world. We have written documents showing that Alexander the Great enjoyed snow and ice flavored with honey and nectar. We have Bible references that show that King Solomon was fond of iced drinks during harvesting. And during the Roman Empire, the Emperor Nero was said to have a favorite 18-step recipe that he used. He would send runners into the mountains for snow and then have it flavored with many different kinds of fruits and juices. Over 1,000 years later, Marco Polo returned to Italy from the Far East with a recipe that resembles our modern day sherbet. It later evolved into ice cream in the 1500s. England was discovering ice cream at the same time, or maybe even earlier than the Italians. They called it cream ice, and it appeared regularly at the table of Charles I during the 17th century. France was introduced to similar desserts by Catherine de' Medici in 1553 when she became the wife of Henry II of France. But it wasn't until 1660 that ice cream was made available to the general European public. The Sicilian Procopio introduced a recipe which blended, get your pencils ready, milk, cream, butter, and eggs at Cafe Procopio, the first public cafe in Paris. Well, ice cream came a lot later to America. The first official account of ice cream comes in a letter written in 1744 by a guest of Maryland Governor William Bladen. The first advertisement for ice cream in this country appeared in the New York Gazette on May 12, 1777, when confectioner Philip Lindsay announced that ice cream would now be available, quote, unquote, almost every day. We know that President George Washington had a sweet tooth, and he spent approximately $200 in that day's money for ice cream during the hot summer of 1790. Inventory records of Mount Vernon, taken after Washington's death, revealed that he owned 2 pewter ice cream pots. Thomas Jefferson had a favorite recipe for an ice cream delicacy that resembles the modern day baked Alaska. In 1813, Dolly Madison served a magnificent strawberry ice cream creation at President Madison's second inaugural banquet at the White House. But until the 1800s, ice cream was a rare and exotic dessert enjoyed mostly by the rich and the famous or the elite. Around 1800, insulated ice houses were invented, and manufacturing ice cream soon became an industry pioneered in 1851 by a Baltimore milk dealer named Jacob Fussell. And then ice cream production increased because of many technological advances: steam power, mechanical refrigeration, the homogenizers, electric power and motors, packing machines, and new freezing processes, and motorized delivery vehicles could dramatically change the industry. So in 1874, by then it just follows, the American soda fountain stop became popular, like the old-fashioned Farrells that swept across the country in another ice cream craze back in the 1970s. I wanted to focus on one man in particular who helped along the invention of not only ice cream, but ice cubes and ice drinks. On July 14, 1850, physician and inventor Dr. John Gorrie publicly displayed his ability to create ice through refrigeration technology. He was demonstrating it to a group of French diplomats in hot and humid Florida after the region's ice stores had run out, and they were amazed. Before refrigeration, ice had to be chopped from the ice during the cold winter months and carefully stored underground. Gorrie went on to patent his ice making machine, but it didn't do him much good because he was not a successful businessman and he never really realized the significance of an ice maker and how it would have a significant impact upon the world. And of course, I know you're just dying to know some unusual facts about ice cream that you probably didn't know. Well, we know that the invention was unclear, and we know that ice cream sundaes actually were made for the holy day of Sunday. But there were some religious people who complained. Religious laws forbade shop owners from selling sundaes on Sunday because it was considered an indulgence of the sugary treat. So they got around the law, and Ed Berner got around the law by serving a customer ice cream soda without the actual soda part of it, so that it was just ice cream and syrup. And they changed the spelling from Sunday to Sunday, Sundae, to avoid associating it with the Sabbath day. The waffle cone was invented by accident at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. An ice cream vendor had run out of ice cream cones. Remember, ice cream day or ice cream cone day is in just a few days. Desperate for a solution, he turned to a waffle vendor nearby. Together, they came up with the idea to mold the waffles into cones and serve the ice cream in the middle of that. Customers loved the idea, and the waffle ice cream cone was born. Americans love ice cream. We are one of the top 3 countries in the world to eat it. And who is the leading ice cream producer? Of course, it is California, which is also the top dairy producer in the country. And what's the favorite flavor? Is it chocolate, Rocky Road, cookies and cream, strawberries? Nope, it's still good old vanilla. The ingredients of the first handwritten ice cream recipe will disgust you. 1668, English noblewoman Lady Anne Vasari wrote it down. She called it icy cream. To prepare the ice cream, you had to boil cream with mace. Yeah, with mace. For flavor, they wrote to use orange flower or ambergris. Ambergris is essentially whale vomit. Occasionally, sperm whales suffer from a buildup in their intestines, which ends up coming out in the form of a vomit-like substance. This is known as ambergris, and in the past, it was commonly used to make candles or perfumes or ice cream. And the last fact I'll give you on ice cream, uh, chocolate was the first invention. You'd think that vanilla would be because it's the common base for so many other flavors, but no. The cacao bean in South America was used to make an icy concoction with chocolate. Okay, now I'm on to what's happening on July 23rd, and that is Gorgeous Grandma Day. You know, everybody thinks their own grandma is the most gorgeous. So, how about an entire day devoted to acknowledging and appreciating grandma? We know about Mother's Day and Father's Day. So, Gorgeous Grandma Day is a natural progression. It was not always about celebrating the delight of being a grandma, but it's about realizing women of a certain age. Once you're 50 and older, you are the one to be celebrated. Now that you know the day exists, you can do plenty of special things. But how did this actually start? Well, it started in 1984 when Alice Solomon graduated from Wellesley College at the age of 50. She felt that society viewed her and other older women as senior citizens, no longer relevant or useful. So she made it her mission to change this idea. She recognized the term grandma is attributed to older females, whether they're a grandmother or not. She decided the best thing to do was to embrace the term and put the word gorgeous in front of it. And she wanted to get rid of any stereotypical ideas showing that women just sit around and knit or watch TV all day. No, a lot of grandmas do a lot more than that. You can watch a film called Grandma for some laughs that came out in 2015 featuring Julia Garner. You can make special cards. You can cook her a meal for a change. But whatever you do, you want to make her feel especially gorgeous and special on Gorgeous Grandma Day. And there is another one I wanted to tell you about, National Cowboy Day, which is celebrated on the fourth Saturday of July. Of course, we have 5 Saturdays this year, but there have been celebrations going on for about 15 years. It started in Wyoming and is spread now to 16 different US states. The goal is to have all 50 states celebrate the work of the hardworking cowboy. And you know, there is a special code of the West, which involves not lying, keeping your word, standing straight and tall and always defending the helpless. Sounds a lot like the knights of the Middle Ages. Well, cowboys and ranchers are the gentlemen of our day. Now, we do want to continue our armchair travels. We're going to the Midwest in honor of the cowboys. And I want to tell you 14 top rated things to do in the Midwest, very middle of our country. The top tourist attraction is visiting Mount Rushmore. And I have a picture of it here. It's located in South Dakota, and it features 4 American presidents at 60 feet tall. And there are ranger led tours to learn about the Black Hills in South Dakota. And here is the picture, and I'm sure you can recognize who they are. Yep, George Washington, Lincoln, is that Jefferson? The other one is that Grover Cleveland. Okay. And moving on, the second thing is the fall foliage. You don't have to go all the way to the New England states because they are blessed with 4 distinct seasons, and you can visit them when the leaves are changing. Michigan has hundreds of miles of roads through forests with colors of red, orange, purple, and brown. Especially the colors are beautiful against the backdrop of Lake Superior. Ohio is another Midwestern state that has wonderful, wonderful bluffs. And Lake Geneva is another place. The third place to visit is Willis Tower Sky Deck. I don't really know much about that. It's one of the tallest towers. I believe it is in Chicago. The fourth place to visit, yes, I'm right. It is in Chicago. And here's somebody looking down right on the edge. And oh, I could not do that. I could not do that. But it is how many feet high? 103 floors. And then you step out onto a ledge, which is glass boxes that extend 4.5 feet out from the sky deck. And you are suspended 1,353 feet up in the air. And before I get any more queasy thinking about it, let us move on to the paddle boat ride. There are paddle boat rides across some of the large rivers like the Missouri, the Ohio River, and the city of Cincinnati and Marietta have paddle boats on the Cuyahoga River and Lake Erie. And even though they look old-fashioned, they are right there in the middle of modern metropolises, giving rides. Now, let's say that you want to stop the sightseeing and do something a little bit more exciting. You can go to the Indy 500 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway every Memorial weekend and watch the car races. And it is usually open year round. And since the pandemic and the lockdowns are pretty much over, you can go, and you could have seen it this past year. And then afterwards, you can actually go to a museum and you can sit behind one of the IndyCar series cars and pretend that you're driving around the famous track. Now, let's say that you want to see the Northern Lights. Well, that's number 6 on the list of tourist attractions. Cook County, Minnesota is one of the places to see the Aurora Borealis. The Upper Peninsula in Michigan is another place to see these beautiful, beautiful changing colors. Now, one that we've mentioned before in the South, and it's also in the Midwest, the historic National Road Yard Sale. It has several days of communities, shops, churches, and random roadside vendors sailing along historic Route 40 for 800 miles that runs through the Midwest. Another thing you might want to do is work a cattle drive and pretend, especially on the day of the cowboy, If you ever wonder what life is like as a cowboy, well, here in Kansas, you don't have to wonder. You can do it. There are several working ranches in the Kansas Flint Hills that let you try your hand at horseback riding and working a cattle drive through the tall grass prairie. And the Flying W Ranch in Kansas and Moore Ranch near Dodge City let you do all kinds of things. You can even drive the cook truck and rustle up the beans around the campfire. The other thing you can do is visit Amish country, especially Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. No agenda is needed to explore the quiet back roads and simple way of life. The Amish communities in Ohio are located in the northeastern counties. If you stay at a bed and breakfast, you can start your day with homemade meals using locally sourced eggs and produce. But you want to be careful driving on the roads because you are sharing them with horse and buggies. Did you know you can even climb a sand dune, this one, at Lake Michigan? Oh my gosh. And for sure, if you love to shop, and what self respecting lady anyway doesn't, go to the Mall of America, the largest shopping place in Bloomington, Minnesota. You have to see it to believe it. It has more than 520 stores, an aquarium, and a 7-acre amusement park, all under the same roof. Oh, yes. And there are so many other things that you might want to do. The sandhill crane migration. And of course, just like we have out in here in California, go see a state fair. Most of them are open, wide open. Or the Gateway Arch of St. Louis, which came out during the 1904. Here we go. That beautiful. There's so many other things, and this is the best time to see it. And I hope you have enjoyed our mini tour, our armchair tour through the Midwest. And as always, I wish you a pleasant rest of your week. And don't forget to go and hug one of the gorgeous grandmas. Bye, everybody.